I'm Wieteke Koolhof and I'm channeling ARJUN of the Yael. Okay, so this went in phases of getting downloads more in dreams and out-of-body experiences, and then I started automatic writing, which is a form of channeling in a sense, for about 7 years, starting at the end of my 20s into early 30s, and then I started vocal channeling, and that I've been doing for about 3.5 years now. Well, understanding the broader perspective of the idea of channeling, everybody's channeling from time to time when they're in alignment with their higher selves. So anyway, we're channeling the persona self we believe ourselves to be, as I understand it right now. But you're truly tuning in with your higher self when you're following your passion, your heart, your bliss state to the best of your ability. And yeah, that's the state that you see, for instance, when a dancer is in a dance and fully engaged in that, or an artist is painting a painting and they forget all notion of time. And that kind of channeling state, I believe we are all absolutely capable of. It's within us, and actually something that our being yearns for, to be in that place, in that frequency, because it's the truest version of who we are in any given moment, if it's in alignment with our passion and excitement. I'm still just following this journey. I'm learning a lot on this journey as well, and taking it one day at a time and seeing where it leads me. So now we're working together. I just hope, I would say, or visualize for the future that humanity as a whole gains a broader understanding of what channeling actually is. And as we get to know ourselves better, I think we will come to the discovery that this is a state that we already have to our, it's there for us. You can use it whenever you want. You can tune in with that higher version of yourself, that bigger knowing, whenever you want. It's like we're going back to the state we were at before we came into this life, because we've been playing this game of forgetfulness, and I think it comes with awakening that we understand what channeling really is, and it becomes a much more accepted, normal thing. Like, and not so out there or weird at all. We'll understand much better that we create ourselves in every single second. And that can be many things. And it doesn't have to be linearly logical either. So it's a very exciting time where we are, I feel, spreading our wings. And there's just a few people perhaps out there today, but this is an increasing number daily. Who are introducing this concept to the majority, to the mainstream, and I feel it has a lot of momentum. I'm very excited to see where this will go. We are the Yael. I am a future version of the channel you see before you. We have given you the name of ARJUN to relate to me by, as this name is a good representation of the energy frequency translated into your language that I represent in general. Do you understand? So by this symbol, you can call me. Though in our society we do not use names, for we understand who we are addressing and who we are already connected to by the unique individual frequency signature that every member of our society has, and that all of you have. And that is how we communicate with you through this channel. We read into your energy frequency signature in order to make this translation, this connection at this moment of your time. We experience ourselves still as physical, but you could say that we are moving from this is a rough indication, from mid to late fifth dimensional energy. So you are right now, to give you an example, you understand you are in a fourth dimensional reality, 3 of space, 1 of time, correct?
Yes.
You are on the tipping point, or you could say already moving into fifth dimensional reality. So you will find that depending on how you choose to live your life, you can very much so already experience moments where the fifth dimension is tangible for you. Time becomes more fluid, more slippery. Things become more synchronous for you. You will recognize yourself in the world you up until now have believed is something outside of you. And you will see that it is all from within, projected seemingly outside of you. A stage for you to play on. And as you are remembering the play, you can be childlike again, you see. Because it won't feel like you are being lived by your circumstances. You will remember that the circumstances are a reflection of something that is originated from yourself. And so you bring yourself back to the bigger understanding of who you are. And this fifth dimensional reality, you are still physical. You will just be consciously aware of the world you live in being an extension of who you are. And this conscious awareness of that lifts you outside of the boundaries of space and time, begins to lift you outside of it. And with that grander understanding, you are gradually moving into eventually non-physical. But that will still take some time as you look at it linearly. Even as you just live your human life, you are a new person in every single split second. Everything is here and now. And there's no reason for us to keep that a big secret, because it is not. There only is the here and now. Try not be here and now, you can't. There truly is only here and now. Whatever you think of, you're thinking of it here and now. You choose everything that you choose to believe in every single here and now, because you recreate yourself in every single here and now. Meaning that you can override, rewrite and rearrange your belief systems in every single here and now. And create yourself to be the person that you prefer to be. And the fastest way to do so is to allow yourself to follow your highest excitement in any given moment to the best of your ability, until you can take it no further, and without zero expectation as to what the outcome should be like, and then move on to the next thing that has your highest excitement in that here and now. And by following that breadcrumb trail of your own passion, you will become the biggest version of yourself that you can possibly be in any given here and now. And anything that is relevant for that version of you to know in any given moment will be brought to you. Information, answers to certain questions. Anything that is relevant, anything that you need will be brought to you. Do you understand? It's a simple reflection of the energy frequency you prefer to be, you choose to be. You see, it works much like a mirror, and you may have heard this analogy before. If you look at a mirror, you understand that in order to make the reflection in the mirror smile, you will need to smile first. Physical reality is like a mirror. If you do not decide to smile first, it cannot, simply cannot reflect back to you. You see, what you put in. That's the mechanism. It's very simple, really. So that brings you back, perhaps, to the understanding that future and past are here and now, being created here and now. Nothing needs to be healed in the past for us. Everything is absolutely perfect as it is. We're not judging any version of the past as you choose to create it from this here and now. It is all as it is. But we are here on invitation, you see. Your higher, let's say, human collective higher self has been asking for a certain frequency to be offered, to be channeled through as an open invitation given to you to play with in your own way. And without being intrusive, we are offering you the way we look at things so that you can play with that in your own way if you choose and if you even resonate with it for yourself. You see? So we are here on invitation not because anything needs to happen or must happen, and understand that everything that can possibly happen, in a sense, but also literally, both, is happening right here, right now. And there are many versions of parallel Earths that have chosen a very different path, you could say, that leans more towards the negative than to the positive. And we are not communicating with them the way we are communicating with you. You see, our message of unconditional love, our unwavering knowingness of the structure, the blueprint of what you understand to be your reality, that is being made of unconditional love. And the messages that we can offer to you without insistence, for you to play with, that are in line with that invite you to come into alignment with your own higher self, your own passion, your own source connection. All of that brings you to the bigger understanding, perhaps, that you must be on a version of Earth that is leaning towards the positive. Otherwise, we would not have this conversation. You see, we're having it because we can see, we perceive right here, right now, from where we're looking at, that we are moving in a similar direction, you see. We're just reaching out our hands, and if you want, you can take it and we can lead you around, because you have, in a sense, already wandered into a garden that is as a bridge in between both our respective worlds. You see, when you are in the non-physical, without a time-space reality experience, you do not have the opportunity or chance to rediscover yourself, because you already know who and what you are. So only by traveling into a density layer where you, well, let's say, put some filters in place that for a while will keep you from remembering all that you know when you're up there, quote unquote. Only by doing that you create the perfect circumstances in order for you to truly have the experience of rediscovering yourself. And that is a valuable addition to all that is. And this is why you call this the time and age of your awakening. The bleed truths, as you call them, are increasing. You could say that all possible scenarios that can be played out with that particular intense level of forgetfulness, by now, linearly looking at it, have been played out. And therefore, for your evolution, or those who are coming into this version of world that we are speaking with you on right now, it is more interesting to begin to explore what it is like to remember more and more. And that is exactly what you're doing. And this is what you call your ascension time, or time of ascension. Everything is simultaneously existing and everything is continuously changing, you see. So there are 5 universal laws, or universal you could say. By that we mean they are unwavering, they don't change in that sense. Whatever dimension you enter, wherever you go in your evolution, spiritually, in that sense, you exist, do you not? You know you exist. And that means you have always existed, and you always will, because you are an infinite being. The second one is, you are the one, the all are the one, and the one is the all. Do you understand? And since you are one of the all, you are also the one. You are the one, and you are, you could say, using the energy, the focus of all that is, the power of the one, of Source itself, to gaze upon reality through your eyes, pretending that this is all there is. Isn't that genius? Because your perspective is unique and therefore a valuable addition to the all that is. So we have you exist, the all are the one, and the one is the all. Everything, like we said before, is here and now. Everything is here and now. The past and the future are being created from the present. So everything therefore must be coexisting here and now. That is the third law. The fourth is, what you put in is what you get back. And this is the idea of resonance reflection. You understand what we just explained to you a little earlier. Physical reality being as a mirror, and what you put in is what you get back. Do you understand? And then the fifth law is, everything changes except for the first 4 laws. Understanding that everything changes except for these first 4 laws, you cannot possibly state that those that have decided to never wake up decisions like that have no use in being made in that sense, because everything always changes. Any given individual has its own unique frequency signature, and in any given split second is free to decide what belief systems they choose to hold true in any given moment, and therefore they can change who they are. They will automatically, whether they see proof of that or not, but you can create the idea of repetition where things are seemingly unchanging. All of that is only being experienced that way because that individual defines it as the same thing, but that is their creation. Nothing is ever boring when you understand that in every single moment, as all this God source creatorship, which is also what you are, is flowing through this particular perspective that you believe yourself to be in this incarnation. Nothing will ever be boring again when you understand that in every single moment you are recreating all that you perceive to be seemingly outside of you. And you have created that, and all of that is you. And that in itself is mind-blowing, and it becomes even more so when you begin to play with it and recognize that as being part of you, as being also you. It will bring people potentially more into the present moment when they remember these things, which you all already know, you see. We could not have even shared this information with you if not on one level or another you were not already containing the readiness within you to receive that. You see, you will not manifest into your awareness any piece of information that you are not ready to work with in one way, shape or form. Whether that is by becoming more curious about it, recognizing it immediately for yourself, or not getting it at all, because that too actually shows you where you are and therefore functions as a valid mirror to allow you to get to know yourself better in this here and now. It's truly, we see a world as a planet of masters. It takes mastery, and it takes, you could say, for a soul to incarnate on your earth and to play the game at such a high stake, you could say, although there's nothing to lose, and as a soul you know that. But it is quite a roller coaster ride. It's one of the most exciting places to be that you can possibly imagine. Before you stepped on it, you were a very curious and excited soul, energy, you could say, that wants to focus in that particular very specific way. You see, this is how you create the idea of time-space reality, because you are focused in such an incredibly specific way into your density. You understand that what you call matter has a slower vibrational frequency than things that are etherical, such as a gas. You understand? So you could, looking at that analogy, understand that when you incarnate into this density that is a physical density, that you have slowed your vibration down to a degree where you can really take your time, because that's what you have created by doing so, to discover one thing after another. But understand that that is a concept that you cannot begin to perceive when you are still on the soul level. There is not one thing after another, because the soul level has the overview, it sees everything simultaneously. There is no time in that same perception as you have it here. You're moving like a light shining through a movie projector. You're moving through seemingly, for you, connected frames of environment. You don't see the seams, you understand? But they're actually single snapshots. You understand the old movies, the way you could look at them against the light? When you slow your frequency down to that degree, the time-space reality is being created because you are moving through these film strips, one after another, in a tempo that creates what you believe is linear time-space reality. A linear time-space reality. And you can choose to believe that things need to be or are logically put in a certain order, so you can say to yourself, this thing has happened and therefore I have learned something from it that I can use in the future. And that logical reasoning is what you quote-unquote need in order to have a linear time-space reality experience. And that is the only way you can discover or rediscover something. You have to hide it from yourselves first. So all that is found this setup, and this is just one of many, to hide the Easter eggs, you could say, in a sense, for you to rediscover yourself, hatch, and become a bigger version of yourself. Spread your wings, and in that sense raise your frequency every single time you find a new egg, and understand that within that shell is actually you, and that all the layers that seem to be around it, you have just been playing hide and seek with the bigger version of yourself. This is what you do on your roller coaster ride, and when you come back to the soul, in that sense, when you transition from physical life to what you call the afterlife, but really it is just life continuing. It's in a slightly different energy frequency. It will feel more like waking up from a dream and remembering the dream. But you will have taken with you these energetic frequency elements that you define as experience. And that is how you enrich the soul. And that is what motivates it, you could say, to go and have more roller coaster rides. From different angles, from new perspectives, to have other adventures, to rediscover itself from even more angles. It is all made of love. The entire experience, in that sense, even though you are free to choose to believe that you are not loved throughout your entire life, in that sense, it is all made of love. And when you awaken to your bigger perspective, when you come back to the soul point of view, you will remember that. And you will also understand that nothing is lost. And eventually, since everything is happening here and now, and you are the all that is, you are everybody else. We are still discovering the broadness and the vastness of ourselves. Every single time we discover a new species out there, we understand that we have rediscovered another part of ourselves. And this is why we can unconditionally love you and communicate with other species in that way and make open connections with excitement, because we understand that whatever it is we encounter, it offers us yet another new perspective of the way all that is experiences itself. And therefore we are bringing our own puzzle pieces and our own hidden Easter eggs back to our own baskets. You create a certain energy frequency signature for yourself right here, right now, in this life. And because you emanate that as an antenna, do you understand? You have that signal that is your unique energy frequency radiating from you in any given here and now. That is why on that wavelength, any particular overlapping simultaneous parallel incarnation can be perceived by you in that moment, as long as you choose to perpetuate that state of beingness. Like attracts like. Many of you, as you were children, saw things that adults say you didn't or are not there. You were trained out of your natural ability to perceive other dimensional beings. That is not happening so much anymore. Times are changing. The awakening, as you call it, is rapidly unfolding. For at least a part of the population on your planet. And in any given moment, people could choose to tune in with that more. And there is more available now than there was ever before. Hence our current dialogue together. That is one reflection of that. Widening probability. And therefore you have given yourself, when you came into this physical body, the compass of your emotions in order to remind yourself of every single moment when you were on or off your track of your own highest frequency vibration. You see, when you feel sad, when you feel resistance, when you feel anger, when you feel frustrated, you're merely using a beautiful and perfectly installed alarm system that you've given yourself as a loving reminder to let you know, hey, look up, look up. There is something here that wants to be seen that is not in alignment with who you truly are. And this is why we always invite you to ask yourself the question when you feel yourself in a place of resistance, to ask yourself the question, what would it be that I believe to be true in this here and now in order for me to feel this way? So that you can trace back the emotion beyond the emotion down to, quote unquote, the belief system that is hiding behind it or below it, and see what is causing these emotions. Because you do not feel anything or perceive anything to be true before you have a belief about it first. That's what you want to dig for in order to transform it. And that's why getting to know yourself is the key. Get to know yourself. Truly get to know yourself. And then you will be experientially free to follow your preferred energy frequency much easier and see reflections back of that by choosing to be that first. And that is how you allow reflections of that to be shown back at you. There's so much more in action. There's so much more moving at the same time it is never just one being. Even right now, we are co-creating this connection with assistance of our collective, with other beings that are assisting in the rebalancing and the continuation of a stable connection. You all have your own specific, you could say, talents and abilities. Wouldn't it be boring if it was all just in one direction, like that? You see, some of you have come into this time and age particularly specialized in perceiving those that you call that have passed over or are deceased. Now, it is all of value because the veil is thinning, and therefore people who have passed over, as you call it, can communicate with you much easier than before. The same goes for us, higher dimensional or extraterrestrial races. Many of us can communicate with you so much easier than you could before, when your energy frequency on Earth was so much denser and slower. So within this age of awakening, many have come in to help build a bridge in one way, shape or form, in their own unique way, in order to make this understanding available for the masses, that all of you on some level are already able to make these same connections, because like we said before, you cannot possibly perceive that which you are not already in one way, shape or form of the same vibration of. And therefore all these portals, all these channels, all these bridges and translators offer you puzzle pieces of the remembrance of all that is possible for you here and now. To truly embrace, encounter and communicate with all multi-dimensional aspects that you already hold within you. You see, your higher self is custom made for you as the persona you understand yourself to be right here, right now, in this physical form. In order to have this physical experience, the higher self is a little bit like, you could say, the hub between the soul and the persona self that translates what it is like to be on Earth. You need these, in a sense, glasses to look through in order to understand that you are having a physical life to begin with. Okay, and understand that when you, if you want to, when you make a discovery, you are channeling, you are in alignment with your higher self. When scientists do a discovery that is of great importance, or can be of great value for your future as a human race, that is a channeling state. It is them being focused in a state of being that they desire to be in, and they allow that to happen without insistence of what the outcome should be, that such puzzle pieces can come to them and through them. The more you all collectively allow yourselves to be more of yourselves, and the more you get to know yourselves, the more you will speak up for what you prefer, the more you will act. And this is of major importance, to ground what wants to channel through you onto your planet so it can come to fruition, and you can begin to live your dream instead of just dreaming of living. When these things are moving in a stronger momentum together, which is enhancing already every single moment as we speak, you will find that such interventions flow also more easily to the surface of your population's awareness through bigger channels such as television and so forth. Remember, you create your version of reality. Understand that the slightest change you make, whether it is getting up 7:05 instead of 7 o'clock, is a different, complete change. The entire universe that you're in is a different universe. Through conversations such as these, you can become aware of that through following your heart and seeing synchronistically the reflections being shown back at you. You can discover this to be true for yourself in your own life. You will get what you need. You will get what you need. And it's very relaxing to surrender to that. You will always be given exactly what you need. But when you trust, when you choose to trust that you are here right now, having, quote unquote, everything you need to be this perfect version of you here and now with you, then what's missing? You are always whole, you are always perfect, you are always complete. Because you are choosing to believe that through this particular reflection of the outside world that is also made up by you, you can receive this and allow this in. But this is happening within you. This is happening inside you. This is not coming from outside of you at all. You see, if you do not resist the way it comes right now, it can come to you in infinite other ways. If this is making you feel free, empowered, and stronger, you see, then you're recognizing that you are speaking to yourself. If this excites you, then you are in alignment with your own higher self. And understand that everything we are telling you right here, right now, comes from your higher self. And that there is nothing, not a word, throughout this entire transmission that we have shared with you that is not information that was already within you. It can only come to you, again, like we said before, you can only perceive it because you already contain the frequency vibration of it within you. Do you not believe that what is here and now for you is enough? Are you not enjoying the idea of still having something to discover for later? Does that not excite you? We are thrilled with that idea. And we love it. We have chosen to love it because we understand there will always be more. Do you not trust that you, the bigger version of you, loves you unconditionally and will bring you everything you need, like we said before, not a second earlier than when you're truly ready for it and not a second later? Is that not a comforting, calming, soothing thought to surrender to? If you would tell yourself there is nothing better than being where I am right here, right now, then you have truly brought yourself home. And if you continue to say that in every single newly created here and now, you will remain on that ecstatic high frequency of pure bliss. There's nothing better than this moment, and there is nothing better than this moment. because in every single here and now, I know that everything that needs to be with me is with me. I am complete, I am whole, all is perfect. And I can change my mind, I can change my plans, I have still things to discover. I can go on my way, I can go on my journey as I perceive it linearly. But along the way, every step of the way, I can tell myself, this is perfect. This is the best moment I have ever lived. You knew what tremendous excitement and joy and release would come with the experience of getting to rediscover that for yourself as this person, as this person, as this person, as this person, and all the versions that you are in the process of creating. We invite you all to follow your hearts and to become those children again, linearly speaking, but that you have always been, and that are actually the more evolved versions of you, looking from a heart perspective, so that your hearts can be the primal receivers of the source energy that is always being sent to it through you, and your minds can become the assistants of the heart instead of the other way around. And with that, you are truly bringing yourself home. And on that energy frequency, we can play with you, we can meet, and we can be together in what you call your physical world one day. And we thank you for tuning in, and we thank you for allowing in our energies through this particular channel at this moment of your time, as you are creating it within yourselves. And we thank you for, with that, co-creating a new blueprint level that hovers, in a sense, metaphorically speaking, over your planet and comes closer and closer, densifies into your physical reality, slowly but surely, as we will wink at you a little more often. More ships will be seen, more encounters will be had, more memories will come flowing in for you automatically on your journeys. You do not have to push and pull at all for that to happen. All you have to do for that is allow it to happen by being the most full version of yourself that you can possibly be in any given moment. And that you allow in by following your excitement to the best of your ability in any given moment, until you can take it no further without insistence as to what the outcome ought to be, and then moving on to the next thing that excites you the most. We have immensely enjoyed this interaction, and we are very excited, very excited, very excited for any interaction to come. Sweet dreams to all of you. Until we meet again. Namaste.